Hello, you have reached the Conscious Hotline, your source for all things conscious and hot. I am your co-host, Altair Kambata, and today I have the absolute pleasure and joy, I think joy is the right word, to be interviewing Marian, who is a joy ambassador, a heart math coach, a life coach, among many, many other things, bringing so much sparkle, so much joy to this world. I don't think she goes anywhere without leaving a trail of confetti in her wake. So get ready for a really fun ride. Buckle up. We're going live now with Marian. I'm so excited.
Hello. Good morning, darling. Wow.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I don't even need my coffee. Why do I have coffee when I can have Marian?
I was thinking the same.
Well, hello, darling. You're a darling of the universe. The universe just loves you, and you love all of creation, and I'm so happy to have you here on the show. We love to get started by asking a little bit of a juicy question.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
So we're just going to dive right in. So, what's your kink? No, I'm kidding. How did you lose your virginity? No.
Oh my God. You really want to know?
I mean, anything goes.
In a couch.
Classic. It's like one of those polls where you'd see like 25% of people like on a couch, 25% of people in the back of a car.
While your parents are behind, like, stay virgin until you get married, and you're in a couch, like.
Yep, nothing more human than that.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm glad it was a good time. Okay, amazing. Good. So now that we're both warmed up, I am just so grateful that you bring so much joy and laughter and happiness to the healing space.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I would love for you to share with our listeners a little bit about your background, how you came to do the work that you do today, how you found it, how you discovered it.
Wow.
And then we can start getting into how it's changed your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it was a fun ride. It's crazy. So, believe it or not, I was a lawyer.
Crazy.
And I was working in the United States. And I was actually, like, in love with what I was doing. I thought I was in love because I was too busy and so stressed doing things. And, like, living in the ego mind. Saying, like, oh, yeah, I have an amazing job. And I have, like, an amazing position that, like, allows me to travel everywhere. So I was going to Europe. I was like manager of training for an anti-money laundering association. And so I was speaking to, like, criminals and like people at banks to find out which were like the latest money laundering like trends and all of these things. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, but at the same time it was very serious. So I had to wear a suit and like pretend to be serious and not laugh or anything. And I fell in love in one of the trips with a guy from Switzerland. And I came here and then I couldn't practice law anymore. And yeah, because I didn't know German and I had to go to school again. And so I come here and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I looked for a job as a paralegal and I had like a master's degree in Duke University. And there I am serving coffee. And I am like, this is not, like, this is the universe sending me a signal that I have to stop doing this because I wasn't born to do this, like, how can I just go to school and then come here and people ask me to serve coffee? So I had a burnout and I quit my job and I started looking for things to do and I became a photographer.
Yes, and a super, super talented photographer. So this is the moment where you first picked up a camera.
Yeah, yeah. I never had a camera, so I decided to leave my job and buy a camera and be a photographer. So it
Were
was
you in
crazy.
like a museum? Were you in a gallery? Had you seen something that inspired you? What
No,
was the prompt for
I
wanting to
think
capture the human essence?
I think it was my own wedding also. Like, you know, just seeing how passionate my wedding photographer was and
Huh.
how like amazing, you know, like she was like, you know, witnessing love and like joy every day. And so it was like, wow, like this could be an amazing job as well. You know, like I go to parties, I love parties, I can laugh, I can, you know, dance with everybody and take photos. And you know, like it was a good idea for me to keep partying, right? So I did it. And in 5 years' time, I was named the top 5 wedding photographer in the world by one of the important associations.
Yes. Yeah.
And but then I discovered, because this is a job in which you have to work, I mean, like 18 hours straight. Sometimes you don't even go to the bathroom. People don't give you food sometimes. Like it was like, it sounds very nice, but it's pretty demanding.
And
So
I
my
know you have a couple of extra batteries installed somewhere, Marian,
exactly.
but even for you, that was probably a lot.
Exactly. So my fight or flight mode was always on. I had a life in which I couldn't heal. And I manifested a tumor. And the tumor was in my throat. And it was, you know, close to my jugular vein. And by that time, I was a photographer, but I was also a coach for photographers. And I was presenting at conferences. So my voice was very important. And I was actually, you know, like teaching creativity and joy to photographers, to people who wanted to, you know, have a nice career and make money out of it. And when the doctor called me and told me, you have a tumor and you're going to lose your voice because we have to, you know, like we have to take it out, and it's close to your vocal cords, and it's almost impossible that we're not going to touch it. And so I was like, what? And so I asked him, like, how long can we wait until you can do this surgery? And he said, well, we have to wait. We have to do something called wishful thinking. And so we have to wait until your tumor grows. And so you have a little bit of more, like, you know, like a high quality life during this time. And I got empowered. I wasn't scared. I was like, okay, how much time do I have to speak? And he said, well, it could be 1 month, it could be 5 months, it could be 1 year, it could be 10 years. You never know. So I like quickly, like when I stopped talking to this guy, I was like, I need to start saying what I want to say. I need to start doing what I want to do, because I have very little time on earth to see, for people to see what I came here for. And I know what I came here for. And so I started videos on Instagram doing crazy things, like laughing and dancing and doing like funny stories and stuff. And people were like, what the heck is going on with you? Are you on drugs or something? And, you know, some people got it, some people didn't. But in the end, you know, like the people who really knew me knew that I was this way. Of course, the people who work with me, not. So I started this mission. And then I got an amazing coach, and she actually helped me lose my job as a photographer and become a joy ambassador. And that's what I did during my therapy. I found actually a miracle.
Yes.
So I used to photograph, it was like an association for cancer research. And I went to photograph this hospital in Switzerland. And there was this, you know, these doctors, and I was photographing. When I got sick, who was my doctor? One of my clients. When I enter the room and I see the guy, he's like, oh, I know you. What are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I'm sick. And he helped me find the best clinic in Switzerland, the best treatment, so I wouldn't lose my voice. And he actually found it. And so I got proton therapy, like one of the latest like therapies for cancer. They use it for kids because kids, you know, are very little, so this is like non-invasive. And I actually, believe it or not, didn't lose my hair, didn't lose my hearing, which was like almost sure. Actually, I went to the doctor like 2 weeks ago, and they told me my hearing was even better than before. It was perfect, like a baby. They were like, how can you live in this world with so much noise hearing like this? And all I did laughter meditation, I did heart rate coherence, and I did, of course, my proton therapy. But I remember the time when I was sick as the happiest time in my life. I was like doing meditation. I didn't have to work. I was going to the therapy and doing Ho'oponopono the whole time of the therapy, and like visualizing that my tumor was like shrinking and everything was fine. And I did it every day religiously, and it worked. Yeah.
And it worked, you know. I think that for the listeners who aren't so familiar with heart math meditation, heart coherence meditation, or Ho'oponopono, you know, what I can say that both of these things have in common is that they help you achieve very high vibrational states of mind. And if you can actually look at a physical chart of our emotions and which emotions are correlated with various frequencies and high vibrational frequencies, you know, so I would love for you to talk a little bit more about how joy and laughter can be a part of healing, and why do you think the spiritual space is so like serious and disciplined, and how, you know, and what is the real power of joy and laughter and using the heart?
Sure. So I love what you said, because I'm a big fan of Power versus Force, which is a book in which they explain this scale of consciousness, in which you see, you know, like how emotions can actually, you know, give you a higher vibration, and you can manifest more when you're out there as well. So what I can say about this is this: we're 99.9% energy. So our matter is an illusion. It doesn't exist. So what we see is, we see our matter when there's light. That's it. At night we don't see anything. So and being energy, we need to play in the energy world. And there's a lot of people who are always in the ego mind, always thinking that the mind is the ultimate GPS for your life. And then follow your mind, change your mind, change your mindset, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, a lot of mind coaches are going out there trying to, you know, change people's minds. And the thing is that what I think is, we come here to this world to unlearn the mind, to get rid of our programs, because from 0 to 7 years old, like we are installed, we are actually in a hypnotical state. And whatever we come up with, whatever we see, whatever our teachers, our parents, people that we don't know tells us, it becomes ingrained in our mind, and that becomes our program, good or bad. And people say most of the programs we have ingrained in our mind are actually not beneficial. So you spend your life living, and this works like this: 5% of your time you live in your conscious mind, which means your conscious mind is where your dreams live, where your essence lives, what you really want to do. 95% of the time you live in the subconscious minds, which is all of these like programs, like, and mostly unbeneficial to you. So what happens? People don't know better because they can't do better, because they are actually slaves of the mind. So when you realize, when you start, you know, like really waking up, and you really realize when you close your eyes and you connect to your heart, the amount of peace and joy there is there. When you forget your mind by accessing your body, by laughing, by moving, by meditating, I mean, like, it is magical. And people don't realize until they, you know, discover these things, until they wake up. So why is it important for me to be to teach joy? So a lot of people say, well, it's silly, you know, like, why are you so silly? Like, what is this helping you? Like, spiritual people should be really serious and should behave. And, you know, like, you should be looking like this all the time. Oh, you know, like, and I'm crazy wearing wigs and, like, you know, throwing confetti and, you know, like singing mantras in you know, in very colorful clothes and everything. And people don't get it because they're like, this is so incompatible. But in the end, when you think about what is spirituality, spirituality is pure creativity and imagination. So if you can imagine, you can create. How
Yes.
do you want to imagine your life? You want to imagine yourself being serious and bored and like having like a horrible life, just sitting behind a desk making money, ching ching ching, while you're doing this? No, I want to make money by wow.
Preach, honey,
So
preach. I'm
yeah,
here
so
for it.
and then why is it important in the manifestation zone? So there is this book called Power versus Mind by David Hopkins.
Okay.
And he speaks about the scale of consciousness, which is the scale of emotions. And he speaks about the lower mind and the higher mind, and how it can affect your life to be in the lower or the higher. So a lot of people, like mostly old people, live in the lower mind, which means they live in their ego. So they are fearful, they cannot change their lives, you know, they're controlled by their ego. So when you start having courage in your life is when you start going up, right? On the scale. And when you start going up, this is where the magic starts happening. Because you start going out of your comfort zone, which is the life that this society taught you had to build for yourself. But this is not your dreams. This is society's dreams. So when you realize you have dreams and you get out and you start living, this is when your energy frequency, which is, you know, every emotion has a how do you say, a level,
A
a number.
vibrational, yes.
Yeah, a number, a vibrational frequency. Then you start going up, going up, going up, and your life starts becoming more magical. So believe it or not, in the scale of frequency, love is lower than joy.
Okay.
Love comes before joy. And after joy, peace, and then enlightenment. So you can see how important it is to be joyful in life. It
Yeah.
is super important. First, you have to become love. You have to love not only yourself, not looking at love as something that you have to hold inside. But so what is self-love? Self-love is loving everything through you. It's not holding any grudge. It's being as clean as possible. It's being in your soul and accepting everything the way it is and celebrating it. And then joy plays a role. So when joy comes into your life, it is the celebration of love, because all the emotions are a measure of love. If you think about hate, what is hate? It's lack of love. What is gratefulness? Celebration of love at the same time as joy, you know? Like when you wake up in the day and you say, wow, I'm so grateful for you. It's because you recognize the love in others. So when joy comes into your life, it's a little bit more than love. And then peace. What is peace? Peace is when you, through getting rid of all of your programs, you establish this connection with the soul and you say, I am safe. I came here to play. I came here to feel everything. Sad, joy, anger, everything. Throw it at me and I'm just going to stay grounded. And this is peace. Peace is recognizing that you are taken care of. And when enlightenment comes, is when you just feel one with everything. You know? When you become this thing that doesn't have any matter, like you can see through matter. You can see the beauty of a woman who is not Instagrammable, but you can see her as the most beautiful woman in the world because she makes you feel. You can see the beauty of a sad moment. You can understand that both shadow and light play a good role, a big role in your life, you know? So
everything is perfect.
exactly,
Everything is perfect.
exactly. So I see joy as a propeller. Joy is one of these magical things in life that actually give you the force to go up. You know, when you're sad or when you're angry, like when I'm angry, I do laughter meditation. Even if I don't want to laugh, and it helps because I release chemistry.
Well, you know, this brings up a couple of different proverbs are running through my mind just from, you know, my career in anthropology, traveling around the world. You discover that in the West, we might have kind of forgotten the magic of joy and laughter and happiness, and we don't necessarily see a lot of that unless people are getting perhaps really inebriated. There's more of a chance of seeing people really laughing and being silly. But otherwise, we've become disconnected to the power of play. But, you know, when I'm speaking with elders from the Kofan indigenous population of Southern Colombia, they have an expression that says, well, I'm screwed, but I'm happy.
Exactly. This is a South American way.
And then they just start laughing, and no matter what the problem is, they can solve it from a place of joy and laughter.
Yeah.
And then while I was living in Bali, there was an expression that, like, if you go digging for stones, or I'm sorry, if you're digging, like you're digging a foundation for something, or you're getting a garden ready and you have to dig into the soil. If you find a stone, then celebrate that stone. Exclaim what a wonderful thing it is that you found that stone, and there won't be any more stones. But if you curse that stone, and if you get annoyed by that stone, then you will find more stones over and over and over again for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
So how can you make sense of that, you know, in terms of energy, in terms of vibration, in terms of matter, material reality? How do our emotions affect then kind of what happens next, or how our lives play out next?
So energetically and in your mind, you get more of what you focus on. Because when you say, I want to look at the color yellow, and you are looking at the color yellow and you're like walking everywhere, what do you see? Yellow. But you miss the pink, you miss the glittery yellow with the little unicorns in between. I mean, like, you miss everything that is magical in life, which is the fact that we are living in a creative world. So how does it work? Like, the thing is this: when you are feeling an emotion, you become a victim of that emotion. The thing is that it functions as if you're wearing glasses with this emotion. So everything in your life looks like that emotion, and you start attracting, because we are magnets. We have a magnetic field, actually. Our hearts create a magnetic field up to 3 feet that other people can read. And this magnetic field attracts the same energy. You know, a lot of people who find you nice and who vibe with you is because they vibrate on the same frequency than you. If somebody doesn't like you, it's because they live in the unhappy zone, you know, in the lower levels of mind, or maybe they just are a little bit down. There's people who actually want to grow, and perhaps they're a little bit lower than you, but they find you attractive because they want to get there and they stick to you. So the good thing about being happy is that you will always find, of course you will find people that don't like you, but you always find your tribe. If you're out there with a bad face, who's gonna talk to you? Like, if you're like, everyone's like, I wanna go to the party too. What did you get? Give me some. So
I think there's nothing more attractive than a good attitude. A positive attitude is extremely attractive.
Super attractive. Like, men are more attracted to women who smile. Actually, this is a research that they did. So if you smile, I mean, if you want to look for a man in a disco, what do you need to do? You need to smile. Why do you have to put your resting bitch face? I mean, like,
I think you just transformed dating for everyone on planet Earth. It's no more of the like model phase.
No, like, if a guy looks at you or doesn't look at you, look at him and go like.
One of my favorite dating coaches, he says, like, don't be easy, but in the first 5 seconds, be easy.
Show them the potential, right? So I have a friend, one of my best friends, who I travel with a lot, and you know her, Carrie, and we travel a lot to like places to, you know, to just let go. So we go dancing, and she was single, and I remember, like, I'm super good at attracting guys that are not for me, also for me, but like, if I have friends, like, I am like the #1 like person, like, just grabbing the guys so we can have, you know, a little fun with them. I have a boyfriend now, so I can't do it anymore, but I used to do it. So I remember one night in which, you know, we were in a disco and there was all these guys and we were in Spain and all of these girls, like super resting bitch faces everywhere. Nobody was like smiling. And I see this like super cute guy and my friend's like, oh, he's super cute. I'm gonna go get him. So I went there and I'm smiling. I'm like, hi. And he's like, oh, hi. You look so happy. And I'm like, of course. Listen, my friend finds you very attractive. I think you should meet her. Okay. He came and that's it. I mean, what is
I don't know a man who's going to say no to that.
I mean,
Marian.
seriously. I mean, what's the issue? We are living in a world in which we came here to play, to dare, to be courageous,
Beautiful.
to whatever we want to do, to show our energy. Yeah.
We came here to play. I love that.
Yeah.
You know, toward the end of our interviews, we always ask, you know, if you had a magic wand, which I know you do somewhere.
I do.
Marian, you have a magic wand. You know, and you could cast a spell for our precious planet. You know, on top of this embracing the idea that we came here to play.
Yeah.
And that it's okay to play. That it is safe to play. That it is beneficial for your life, for all of life, to play. What else would you say? What else would you say with that magic wand for our planet?
You know what would I do? I will get rid of people's minds. I will get rid of people's minds.
Damn.
What do you need your mind for? Like, just like, seriously. I mean, of course, like some things you need to know, like how to walk, like how to read a book, whatever. But like, get rid of the program of this society. Like, it's not working. So I will actually install programs. Like, I love playing. I'm a magnet for joy. I'm a magnet for abundance. I love having fun. And then from that place of fun, you can start working. You can start making friends. You can start building your life. You can start building a nice society in which we all smile at each other and love each other and celebrate each other. Like, why can women celebrate each other's beauty? I don't understand this thing. Every time I see you, Altair, I'm like, what? Like, you are such a blessing for my eyes. Like, really. It's like and I want everybody to do these kind of things, to celebrate, to embrace, and that's why I created the Sparkling Sheep, which is like, it's my baby. It's like a community for people who actually embrace celebration as a spiritual practice. Yeah, that's my motto.
Celebration as a spiritual practice. Yes. Yeah. Let's put the sexy back in spirituality, the fun, the play, the smiling, you know, we'll put the smile back in spirituality. Okay, well, Marian, I'm sure that there are tons of people watching this and who will watch this who would love to know how they can have a conversation with you, how they can understand the services, the offerings that are part of your Sparkling Sheep menu. You know, I'm sure that there are people here who are very hungry for an extra taste of that. So how can they get in touch with you?
So they can go to sparklingsheep.com. And I'm actually offering 30-minute free calls, discovery calls, for people to have 30 minutes of coaching with me so we can actually see what their issues are and how to get more joy in their lives. And from there, we can see, you know, what do you need? Because not everybody needs the same thing.
Right.
And yeah, that's something they can do. I also have a beautiful practice called the Sparkling Morning. And I do it every Monday and every Thursday. And there I go crazy. So I created this thing, which is a crazy practice, spiritual practice, in which I use confetti, dance, laugh, sing. Like, I just like go cathartic. And then after that, I feel so free that I can just go on with my day. And I manifested pretty radical stuff. Well,
you have. Just in knowing you, Marian, it's been a string of pearls, a string of miracles in your life that keep emerging. And I know that it's because you're tapping into laughter and love and joy. Exactly. And so anyone who has the pleasure and the privilege and the opportunity to tune in to your sparkling morning, I know that they are also going to start attracting miracles into their lives as well. So thank you so much for giving that gift to this planet.
Thank you for this opportunity and for this honor. Also to see you and your beauty and experience you.
I love you.
And to spread my gift, and let's amplify this mission of making this world a better place. Let's just get all together and keep meeting all like people like us and bringing them on board. And I love this idea of the conscious hotline, because actually it's what the world needs. We need people like us who have a strong mission, a big mission to change the world, need a microphone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's a party going on Spaceship Earth right now. You're there. I'm there. I'm having a great time. Everyone's invited. Come on, people. Join the party. It's time to party.
It's time to party. It's time for confetti.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure for me to I've had a sparkling morning just speaking with you, Marian. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in and who has watched this episode. It was so much fun having you. And I'm going to make sure that all of your information goes in the show notes underneath this episode, so people know how to reach out and learn more about what you offer and look at your beautiful website, which by itself is like medicinal, just to look at your beautiful photos and all of the information there. So I'm so excited to share that, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day, Marian.
Thank you, beautiful. I wish you an amazing, wonderful weekend.
Yes,
I love
miracles. You. Ciao, darling.
Ciao.